Yo, what is YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk, and we are back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Colts fans wanting. Some Colts fans actually want Hendon Hooker out the draft. A lot of fans are not on the same train as going to get Will Levis because a lot of fans think Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, and C.J. Stroud will all be gone, and they are willing to either go get Will Anderson or just draft well, I should say get Will Anderson and then draft Hendon Hooker later. There's a lot of fans that are supporters of Hendon Hooker. Like I said, I do think he has some type of game, but I am not on the train of drafting Hendon Hooker so early. I do think he can be a day two or a day three pick. This is no this is no slander towards Hendon, but I do think when it comes to Hendon Hooker versus Will Levis, I'm more campaigning to get Will Levis over Hendon Hooker. And you can take the age out of the conversation. I just think Will Levis has more of an upside when it comes to this conversation over Hendon Hooker. And Hendon Hooker, I've met in person in Mobile. I think he's a great talent. I think he can be successful. I always make the joke about him being Jacoby Brissett related because they kind of do look alike to me. But I do think Hendon does have a certain skill set you can bring into a quarterback room, and he can shine a light on some type of success. I do think Hendon can be a guy for like maybe Tennessee, or I can see him like for the Patriots. I do think he can have some success in those type of teams. Even Minnesota, I think the Vikings can use a guy like Hendon Hooker, and I think he can have success. But when it comes to the Colts, I think the Colts need more of a mobile guy that can push the ball down the field. And I do think of Anthony Richardson or Will Levis when I talk about these things in this conversation. Of course, you can support Hendon Hooker to the Colts, but I don't think Hendon should go that early in the draft for the Colts to be willing to risk and going to selecting him. I do think they need a guy that's a little bit more. When it comes to arm strength, you would go with the Levis. If it comes to being mobile and being a dynamic dual threat, I think you would go Richardson. When a Hendon Hooker, I think he has a lot of things to work on, and I think his upside just isn't on the same level as Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. And I'm not taking away, like I said, I'm not taking away from Hendon's game. I think he can be successful, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer for him to hit that stride and actually become into his own when you're comparing him to a guy like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis in general. And like I said, this doesn't say that Will Levis is going to be better than Hendon because we both don't know at the end of the day. But I think when you look at upsides and ceilings, when it comes to playmaking ability or when it comes to just having that guy as of right now, I think you would go there. Like I said, he's a QB that you would select in a draft, but I don't think he would go as early as many people are projecting him to go. And it's just a mock draft, and it's just just thought throwing it out there when people talk about these things. So, like I said, Hendon's going to get drafted. He's going to be a phenomenal talent in one of these years upcoming in the NFL when he gets selected. And it all comes down to actual scheme and team. And when you look at Will Levis, the guy has been facing pressure his whole college career because he just happened to play with one of the worst offensive lines in college football at Kentucky. So I think he'll be a little bit more accustomed to seeing pressure and actually being more alert in certain situations if he happens to get drafted to Indy. Same thing that goes for Richardson if he happens to go to Indy. He's already aware and he's already mobile enough, and that's what the Colts need. They need a mobile guy that can pretty much make adjustments off the fly. And when it comes to Hendon, if you watch his game, he's just like a standstill pocket guy. But of course, he would, step out of his shell, step into his own in due time. But I think Levis or Richardson is just a little bit more of what the Colts are looking for. And that's just what it is. Like I say, Hendon, he's like a day two, a day three guy, a day two, a day three guy to me. I just don't see it happening for him to go to the Colts. And, I'm not here to try to rain on the parade. It's just the thought process. Because I see it a lot. I see a lot of draft Will Anderson and go get Hooker. I just don't see that being the best scenario for the Colts moving forward. So you guys let me know your thoughts about Hendon Hooker in the comment section and the whole draft Will Anderson scenario thing as well. Draft the edge rush. Who should the Colts get? Who should they draft first? Who should they draft second? Let me know all these things in the comment section. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.